Hello and welcome to the Team Evasion podcast. We've got a whole host of things to talk about here, but talking about the host, I am Mr. Hayes, and you have to my, I guess if you're looking at it, to my left, I think you got Fudge, and then you have Gino as well. Fudge, feel free to introduce yourself.
How you guys doing? Fudge. As you guys know, I stream Escape from Tarkov, obviously, so excited to be on the Evasion podcast. Somewhat recently joined Evasion and, a new Twitch partner, so excited to give my input on all these things. So.
Good stuff. Gino?
My name's Gino. I'm a 21-year-old content creator out of Pennsylvania. I am not newer to Evasion. I actually joined about a year ago, a year and 2 months ago. But I am beyond thankful to be on every single podcast that I can actually be on.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. I mean, I guess I should introduce myself as well. I don't know who am I? Yeah, I don't know, some guy, some British tea drinking guy. No, I'm Hayes. I've been streaming for I want to say 8 years now. Partnered for 6 years. Back in the sort of the battle royale scenes of Arma 3 battle royale, that stuff, and PUBG and CSGO, and I've done a few things. I've joined Evasion, I guess, when was that? That was some of the first people to join, I think, long ago when I was, starting Evasion. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I can't thank Evasion enough for kind of helping us out and just sort of taking us under their wing, and it's been a good time overall. It's been cool. Yeah, good. So yeah, I think honestly, just in this podcast, we're going to kind of talk about all things Tarkov. Obviously, very sort of kind of recent sort of hype around Tarkov, especially in the Tarkov community, in terms of the wipe, just what's coming next. I think it's a very sort of exciting time for everyone in the Tarkov community and others that might come in and join. It's exciting even beyond the realms of Tarkov and just the sort of the extraction mode genre. So we've got quite a few things to talk about today, but we'll be keeping an eye on chat, sort of saying hi and looking at what people are saying as well. Sort of, so feel free to give your opinions in chat and, feel free to do all that stuff. I think we will be giving away some trial codes at some point as well. I think we got is it 5-ish or something like that? I'm not sure, but yeah. So 5 trial codes for Tarkov. So that's like a 7-day trial. So if you want to try it out, give it a go. It's it's a bit of a wild time right now. So I don't know if you can try them after the wipe. That would be quite good. That'd be a nice idea. Give it a go. If you like it, then buy a standard account, all that stuff. Definitely recommend it. But yeah, so we're giving those away. I'm not sure if we can get some confirmation on who's doing that. But not entirely sure. But we'll see. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it'll be in chat. Just keep an eye on chat, basically. Yeah, as chat does, do chat things. So yeah, in terms of what we've got, so right now we have the events going on. There's a lot of events going on every day. I think we've had. Today was the 4th one, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, 4th. I believe.
So, day 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think first we had skills. I want to say
skills.
So the high level skills like fast leveling. Then we had the hold on, my brain's
hideout
skills, the beer hideout, the dog tags, and Gluhar and you can scav labs, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I forgot about that one as well. Yeah, that's the thing.
Was that pre-wipe or was that before pre-wipe?
I think that was way before pre-wipe.
That was the Rigi stuff.
But
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So then that was a lot of fun. So what's the 4th one?
That was good.
Chat, help us out.
That was today. That was the Tagilla stuff today, wasn't it? Yeah. So that's been
right. And then the knifing. Yeah.
Yeah, all the melee shenanigans going on in a factory. That's been mad today. I've been on it today, and there's been some interesting sort of things going on there. It's been pretty fun. I've been trying to get Tagilla. Literally, I would have liked them to increase the spawn rate of Tagilla because I only found him twice in 4 hours, I think. 3 times. One time I wasn't ready for him, so that doesn't count. But no, I found him like twice, and he's just railed me twice with his RPK, like he's killer or something. Like, why you killer's brother or something? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, what do you guys think about the events then? What have you guys been doing with the events?
Honestly, for my, you can go ahead, Fudge. You got it.
Fudge, go on. Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. So, okay. All right, fine. I've been doing basically the same thing that I always do, just highly aggressively W keying every fight I can. But it actually kind of works out well for me because I'm kind of poor in game, but now these dog tags are helping me not be poor. So it's like incentivizing the W keyness, you know? So I've been enjoying that. I was trying to get the 15 hatchet kills, but there's people are just like ruining it. They're like going in fully geared because they know people are gonna go try to hatchet fight. It's been driving me nuts.
Yeah. I've been the same. It's been
I feel like the pre-wipe events. I feel like the pre-wipe events this time have been like some of my favorite. Like they're not too much. I feel like before, especially last pre-wipe, there was that rain event that it was just raining the entire time. I didn't really enjoy that too much. And I'm gonna be honest. I think these are a great way of like kind of mellowing down the events. You know, I feel like the events this time are very friendly, so to speak, compared to the last events, and I think they're probably some of my favorite that we've done. You know, I really like the dog tag because, you know, it focuses PvP, and I really like the skills one too because I've never had some of those elite skills. You know, like I've never had elite, you know, recoil, you know, recoil training or whatever it is. You know, I've never had that, so it's been nice. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was watching. I think I rated on Taurus today. Not on Taurus was in a fight, and then he said, "Chat, look at this," and then he surgeried about like one limb in like 5 seconds, and I was like, "Is that a thing?" Like, he was like, "Yeah, maybe max surgery." I was like, "Damn, that's insane." So it's just like I don't think anyone's even seen max surgery since it came out because it did come out like that long ago, right? But max surgery is wildly OP. Like that's mad. Like, that's a time saver. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying it today. Yeah, as you said, Fudge, like today, there's been a lot of people just kind of, let's say, ruining it. I mean, they've maybe taken advantage of you know, people being unarmed and then just kind of getting the dog tags for the money. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I was thankful because I probably start earlier than you guys, right? So I was like 1 hour after the event was out. So like everyone was doing it, right? I think maybe like later on the day, people just kind of get bored of it or they've done it and now they're just like, let's have some fun. So a bit tougher for you guys, I think, more so than me. But yeah, I got my 15 kills and then tried to get to Gilla and just stopped after about 4 hours. I couldn't find him. I got my whole chat to kind of join me. We all went in as a 5-man. We couldn't find him. Then when we did, we just couldn't get him because he was like aimbotting us with some RPK. And just, the whole thing is you got to get him to get out his hammer, and then it's easier, so much easier.
Yeah.
But he just didn't do it. So it was like we just died. It was, I don't know, strange.
I got to Gilla maybe my third raid today. I hit him with a KS in the knee. He ran away, started healing, and I just went up and smacked him twice. It was easiest Tagilla kill I've ever had.
See, I did that as well. I did the same thing, man, but it didn't work. He just didn't die. That's what it was.
So,
oh, well. Yeah.
I haven't tried this event today. I haven't gone in the factory once, but are people complying? Like, are people like genuinely like having hatchet fights in the middle of the factory, or is it one of those things?
So, from my experience, you got to go in there VoIPing, like letting it be known that you want a hatchet fight, and you kind of like establish like you want to do it right here, like let's do it right now, or else people are just like, screw it, I'll just kill him.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like early in the day, it was good for me because like everyone was doing it because it was the hype thing and everyone's melee. I think like when you guys start your streams, it's a bit different, right? Like So I just sort of spawned and was like, right, melee's out, boys, let's go, and that was it. It was good fun though. It was good fun. We had some good fights. Yeah. Awesome. But no, I was gonna say, what events would you like to see added? Because I think that's quite an important thing. Like, there's a lot of expectations in terms of like what has been in the past and like how they've done it. But as we know, as Nikita said, like he wants to keep it short and sweet now and kind of like different stuff and kind of more involved, and it seems like that's what they're doing. They're getting more people involved in doing things in raid, and not just giving them stuff like max traders and money. They're just they're doing stuff. So you got to do things. But yeah, what do you guys think would be added, or what would you want to see?
I tweeted this the other day, something that I want to see them do eventually, because I think it would be nutty, is have every boss, no guards, just every boss on one particular map, including the goons, and have the goons fight the other bosses. I think that would be crazy. And then like if a PMC gets too close, they might all aggro towards the PMC, and like kind of as a PMC, your whole idea is let's try to pick as many off as we can. I think that would be incredible. I don't think they'll do it, but that would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking about, I don't know, man, this might be too much, but I was thinking about like a throwback, like a throwback event where they eliminate inertia. Like there are a lot of people that have not been around for when there wasn't inertia, and I think it would be a lot of fun to see people's reactions to without inertia for the first time. A lot of these new players are coming in. They met, the last few wipes. Inertia has been a thing, and they haven't been around when you could, go around and wide swing things and stuff like that. And I think an event where it was kind of like a throwback event, maybe even bring back some of the things that they used to have where, no animation for healing. That was a thing back in the day, like all of that stuff. I think it would be a lot of fun to see people's reactions for.
For sure. Yeah. I want to, I want to see what people would say about that. But I also think like it's one of those things where if you're BSG, you don't want people to like it.
Yeah.
They're just like,
I was about to say, they're like, make it miserable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, well, you want to change it, keep it, and everyone's like, keep it. It's like, oh, but we can't keep it. It's not. Yeah,
you'd get a lot of
I
like
know what you're saying.
You'd get a lot of like the old heads that like kind of started pre-inertia that have kind of finally letting go of it a little bit, and then they're just gonna be like, bring it back, So that might not be a good idea.
I was just thinking, I was like, maybe a throwback event, see what they can do.
Yeah, to be fair, I think that's actually kind of a cool idea. To be fair, so,
cases
true,
marked. And
I think it would be cool.
What
if they did like this might sound completely out of the ordinary, but what if they did like a time through history of Tarkov with pre-wipe events? Like take it back to, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe take it back to like day one. Day one where some of the stuff was different, and then kind of throughout the pre-wipe events kind of go through the history of Tarkov. And I think that's something that might be fun for a lot of people.
Like a patch rollback?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I don't know if they have availability of that, but
that would be a lot though, because then you're talking like removing reserve, removing the factory expansion, removing lighthouse. Like I don't know if they would take it that far, but maybe just like the mechanics or like what guns are accessible, but yeah.
I mean, it could be interesting. I don't know if they even have that like as a like available to them to use. I'd be down for that. Just to mix it up, because I mean that's what they're doing right now. Is they're kind of like what we had in the past was that they just kind of gave us the sort of the stuff that we're getting. Like they just gave us it, and then it was. Now they're kind of like making us work for it in a way, like with the traders. I mean, I don't know if I've not done the quest because I chickened out, but like I don't know if we get max traders or if it's just the reputation that we get on the quest from Skier. I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's +2 for each trader, which I don't know if that would be max rep. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like in terms of like, does it unlock like the traders completely? Like for someone who completes that, because that'll be interesting. If it does, then that's their traders unlocked kind of thing, and then maybe they'll do the fire sale or sort of event some other time, or tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think about tomorrow though? Do you think it's gonna be like some sort of interesting event tomorrow? Like what's your thoughts? Fudge going.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Okay.
I mean, so obviously, I want the traders like 99.9% off plus the free labs. That's always fun. But that typically signifies like wipes in like a day or two, right?
Yeah.
At least from my experience. I mean, you guys have been playing the game a lot longer than me, so the 5 wipes that I've been playing, it's typically every end of wipe. That's like the last event that they put out. So
I don't know. I feel like I've seen on Twitter a few times people are speculating that the events are leading up to something. Like they're trying to the max skills are going to be used for something. Like I saw, it might have been Hotel. I think I saw a tweet with like some speculation of like different events that they could do, like weather or something like crazy. You know, like some speculation along those lines, and I think it might be something that, you know, these things are kind of like leading up to something. You know, who knows? You know.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that they're just like they're letting the people who, I guess, casual players. Casual is kind of a loose term now, I suppose, but they're letting them sort of like get to a point where it's like end game, and this is what it feels like in the end game, to sort of maybe kind of spur them on in the next wipe to kind of go for that, and to go for the end game kind of things that they want to get to, because they know. Yeah, I was thinking maybe tomorrow we might have some sort of scav rep sort of event potentially, because like we had that in the past, didn't we? And that's another part of the game that is a big crucial part. That's going to be a crucial part in the future as well. So I was thinking like maybe a scav rep event where they, scavs do things, and I don't know, no idea, but yeah, we'll see. It should be interesting. Yeah. So I mean, I think So how long do they usually last anyway? These pre-op. So like pre-op events usually, I think people say it's from like maybe a few weeks to like a few days. I mean, I think it was last Christmas they just wiped sort of like on a Tarkov TV devcast. They said, right, wipe tomorrow, guys. Let's go. Like, you were like, what? Right, whoa. Hold on a second. What is this? That was insane. That was mad. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about how long these will be. Yeah, it's interesting.
In my experience, I think it's typically been like 2 weeks, no? Or a week and a half. Mm-hmm. I mean, I again, you guys have a lot more wipes under your belt than I do. But the last 4 or 5 wipes, it seems like it's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks each time, no?
I honestly don't know why, but I've been thinking that pre-wipe events have been a week. Like I've always thought that when pre-wipe event happens, like when it starts, it's wiping a week from then. You know, like not saying that that's going to happen, but I swear the past few wipes, at least from what I'm remembering, I feel like they happened from when, 7 days almost after the pre-wipe event started. So we'll have to see, but I thought they were like a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting to sort of try and figure out because everyone's got that question of like, when is wipe? Yeah. Like when is it going to be? Like, is it going to be on Christmas Eve? Because we know, was it? I think 2 years ago. It wasn't last year. Last year Christmas. It was the year before that when they did the Tarkov TV, and then it was like, wipes tomorrow, guys. By the way, everyone was like, what? And I think that there was a few sort of pissed people. Let's just say that. Then again, I mean, I suppose they're kind of, no one's entitled to know. It's just like whenever it happens, it's their choice. But like, I don't think people enjoyed that as much as they would like maybe like after Christmas or like New Year's. So I'm curious to see, or curious to hear what you guys think or when it will be. I know we've spoken about this before the podcast a bit, but just kind of for the chat.
I think personally it'll be around Christmas, say 26th, 27th, 28th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes too much sense to have it release around Christmas. The game's gonna go on sale. People are gonna buy it as a gift. Like they're gonna have this huge pop in population just because of Christmas, and then you stack wipe on top of that. You're just going to see an influx of players. It makes too much sense to not release it right around Christmas.
So I don't want to go by the joke of Thursday, but I still am sticking by my gut, and I'm going to say it is going to be Thursday. But the events are getting, they're not. They seem like the events are going slow, and when it comes to like how friendly they are, because usually we have, if it would wipe Thursday, we would have pretty hardcore events, all bosses on a certain map. And they haven't done that yet, so I don't know, but I'm sticking with my gut, and I'm going to say Thursday.
Okay, so that would be like in 2 days, right? So 22nd, right?
22nd. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think like as I said before, we start the podcast. I think like I think you also said just now that like there's not been the usual ones that we have that like kind of game breaking kind of, because they love to break the game just before, like just everything's like crazy. I mean, this is kind of crazy, but it's not as crazy as we're used to, right? So I think there's still got to be some sort of boss thing. And I think Fudge mentioned it as well. Like I would love a goons on all maps, because like not all maps, but like goons 100% spawn on a map or something. I think that would be great, because I mean, obviously the goons came in this patch, didn't they? This wipe. I've only seen them twice, I think. Yeah, it's not even been. I feel like they've not even been in the game. Like I'm not even noticed them really. So I think for them to have that out there would be great, as like a sort of an event. Honestly,
I got a question. Okay.
Go on.
If my event were to ever come to fruition, where the goons are on a map fighting the other bosses, okay, who do you got? Do you got the goons, or do you got the OGs? Right. I think no guards. I think Rashala and like Tagilla get taken out quick, right? Who you got?
Yeah.
Who you got?
I don't know. Killa be power sliding across the dang floors and shit. So I would say Killa himself is gonna win. I would say the bosses though over the goons.
Really?
Mm.
All right. What do you think?
I'd say. What? So without their guards, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, it's got to be the goons then, because they're all their own guards. Like they're all like they guard each other, and like you've got different sort of ranges of things. And I mean, if big pipe goes big piping, then it could be interesting. You know what I mean? Like so. I feel like I do feel like the goons would take that, especially for sure.
I think the goons, because so Knight is basically in my opinion is basically like Killa, but like different in a way. So like they're gonna kind of offset each other, right? And then Pipe, I feel like the other bosses will take out Pipe, but I think Knight just sitting there sniping is just gonna take everybody out.
I don't know. You see, I've been beamed across the interchange by Killa so many times. I don't know, man. I'm all I'm saying is I think Killa can take on all three of them at once.
Yeah, that's fair. I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Killa. Yeah, that's fair. Like, it could be a toss up. I mean, Gluhar can be annoying at range though. Like he's got some range. Like especially with his M1. If he's got his M1A, it's that's a tough one to beat. I think personally, but
that's a good point in chat. Cloner 17 says, ending in a 1v1 Sturman versus Bird Eye.
Oh shit, dude.
Oh,
that's a good point.
That'd be cool. I think you got to give that one to Bird Eye.
Could be a movie.
That would be a movie. BSG, take notes. We're giving you gold here. Come on.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. I think. I mean, Sturman would just probably like run around, because that's what he usually does in wins. He just kind of runs, and I just like, what are you doing? And he's just like sat in a cabin somewhere. So yeah, I think Bird Eye for sure. Yeah, would take that for sure. Especially with the RSAS. The RSAS is just such a nice gun. So good. I love that thing. So I mean, yeah, going with that then. In terms of the drop, the wipe, we also have drops coming in sort of around kind of the New Year's area, sort of around New Year's, as it's been sort of said on Twitter. It's not really been confirmed by anyone specifically, but there are some people who've said some things on Twitter. So Yeah, interesting to know that. And then, like, as we said, I keep going back to before the podcast. We were talking a lot on the before it. We had a lot of time because we were just prepared because we're just so good at this thing. And we were having a chat, and like maybe during like maybe wipes coincides with the drops, all that stuff. I don't know. It's tough to call, really. It's tough to call. But speaking of wipe though, going into wipe, and I know you guys probably have your kind of your things that you do or that you like to do, or traders that you like to level first, or maps you like to go to first. What are going to be your goals for the wipe? Like, what's your kind of your thing you want to do next wipe? I'll start with Fudge. Sorry.
So every wipe, I just kind of try to improve from the one before, right? Just all around. Obviously, I want to get cap again, but improve my survival rate, improve the amount of PMC kills, improve the max amount of money that I have, or whatever I've hit. I think this wipe, I want to see how many thick items cases I can get, only because typically my chat makes me delete them. So I think if I put a hard stop on that and then just see how many I can get. So that's kind of where I'm at.
That's so
funny. That's fair.
Gino, go on, Gino.
I think I haven't got cap in a few wipes. I might try for it. I said this last wipe, so take this with a grain of salt. But I think something to have, like, kind of look forward to this wipe would be Kappa for me. Not just because Kappa's cool and all, but it will give me something to do. I feel like this wipe especially has kind of been for some players, not all, but some players. I feel like this wipe has kind of been kind of stagnant, so to speak, when it comes to like what they're working towards and what everybody's working for, so to speak. And I think Kappa is one of this. Kappa is on the horizon this wipe for me.
Cool. Yeah. I think I'm the same. Yeah, exactly. You better do
it. We play enough together that I can hold you to it. Okay.
Yeah. No. Help me.
Yeah, I think that's a solid sort of goal to have. I kind of agree with you there in terms of like, I think honestly, it's more subjective in terms of my own opinion, but like I think this whole year in terms of the two previous wipes have kind of been just a bit lackluster. Obviously, Lighthouse is cool. It's a cool map. It's nice, but I've just not really gotten on with it. I don't know. It's not a map that I've really gone to at all. I've got a few performance issues with it. Like for some reason, it's odd, right? For some reason, I've got to restart my game before I play Lighthouse every single time. It's weird, really strange. Otherwise, it feels awful, and then midway through the raid, my PC just blue screens and my RAM's up at like 98% usage. Anyway, moving on from that. Hopefully, Streets isn't like that, because I will be livid, absolutely livid. But yeah, fingers crossed, eh? Yeah, it's been rough, but so like, I've not really played much in terms of the new content, so I'm kind of just like in this kind of this, like, for the past whole year, I've been in this sort of limbo of like, what am I doing in Tarkov? Like, what's happening? So I think I'm very excited for this wipe because there's just so much in the pipeline that will come out and that will be a thing, and then obviously, Streets kind of like unlocks a lot, I think, for BSG. I've said this as well. Like, I think Streets is a bottleneck for BSG in terms of their development. Like, to have everything else in the game, they have to have Streets. So once they get Streets in there, then they can kind of get all the stuff out and kind of keep like go rolling with it. And I'm excited to see how fast the actual updates come out, because I think that was definitely an issue for them. Just get Streets done the first thing, and then they can concentrate on getting things out. So yeah, I'm just mega excited. My goal, I think, honestly, for me would be Kappa, because I've not got Kappa in the past 2 wipes. So I think definitely Kappa. I got not shafted by the new quests, the end game quests, like what is it, capturing outposts and all that stuff. Oh god, it was, I don't know, it was one I didn't really want to do. So I kind of just like let it go, and I don't know, just not really done it. But I think this wipe, I'm gonna be full on Tarkov, like grinding. It's gonna be good. I'm excited for it. So yeah, I think Kappa's my thing. And also I think, so what map are you gonna go to first? Gino, I'll start with you on the wipe.
I don't know. It depends what I'm gonna be focusing. I think I'll scav streets if I can. I don't know if there's gonna be any limitations. I don't know. But I think if I can, I think I would do scabbing on streets and just to see how it is. But if I'm going for progression, Woods was really good last wipe, and there weren't a lot of people going there right off the bat. And I think it's something where we can farm the Saluas and we can farm the gas analyzers, and we can move on from those quests and then move on to the pocket watch. I think Woods is like my progression map, and then I think streets is one of those things where we're gonna see what it's like.
Fudge, go on.
I am going to do an offline streets raid the second it's up. That way I can explore with no interruptions. We can talk about it with chat, everything like that. And then going right to Woods to be a tasking Andy and try to hit Flea within the first couple hours and, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm the same. I was saying to chat, chat was taking the piss out of me because they were like, "You're an offline co-op? What?" But no, I think definitely streets offline mode, just to kind of and the extracts too, because the extracts when Lighthouse came out, I went online Lighthouse for the first 5 raids, and I went MAA for the first 5 raids. I had no idea. I was like, "Where's this chat? Chat was help me, chat." I was like, "Where am I going?" I don't know. It was insane. Yeah, but I got the hang of it afterwards, obviously. But yeah, that'll be the same as streets, probably even worse actually, because I think streets will be bigger. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure how big streets is. Someone said this would be as big as 4 interchange malls. I don't know how true that is. I don't know who said that or where that's coming from. As in the first iteration, but I don't know. As in the actual mall, not the map, because there's a lot more to it, right? But just kind of the size of those. But I don't know how true that is. I know that the full kind of full iteration of streets will be huge, 40 players. I think that someone said I think it was Nikita that said the same size as all the maps combined, or at least bigger than all the maps combined. Which I don't even want to think about that. That's insane. That's gonna be nuts. But
that's the full release, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the full release. I wonder percentage wise how much we're gonna get, because I don't think it'll be fully released for a couple of wipes. I don't think it's gonna be 1 or 2 wipes. I think there's a lot that they have planned, so I think they want to get it right. So by releasing it slowly, you can take care of the little bugs one step at a time, and then eventually get to 100% release. But I'd like to see 50% of it up and functioning. So
yeah. What do you think, Gino?
I think so. I don't know. I think with streets, it's going to be one of those things. I actually wanted to bring this up real quick. With the speculation around streets, somebody brought up in my chat, what if they did some sort of lock with it, right off the bat? So with this first iteration, they can test all these bugs, but by doing so, they actually lock it to, let's say level 20, or no, let's say level 10. This allows Battlesafe to kind of test, streets in the first iteration, slowly, compared to, just giving us the full map and allowing all these players to kind of, join in. And I think that's something that I wanted to bring up to you guys. What do you guys think about that? Would that be something that you guys interested in? Or is that something, not necessarily labs where you have to get a labs card, but more so a level locked map, just so they can test the first iteration of streets? Because it's going to be one of the biggest maps, in Tarkov eventually, right? And I think it's something that they want to try and test.
I don't think you can do that, because you have to understand that not everybody plays this game for a living like we do, and some people are aggressively looking forward to streets, and it might take them a month to get to level 10 or whatever it is, as where we're probably going to be level 10 in 2 hours, so
that's a good point.
I feel like you can't judge that based off of what our consensus is, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that you want Streets? Well, not people would say like Streets is going to be locked or like for the first part until like a sort of a certain level. Okay.
They said a level, but maybe something like a quest, especially. I could be wrong about this. I hope this isn't like some speculation, but I heard something about quests are being redone. Is that confirmed for this wipe? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe with the quest redone, like maybe like a pocket watch type quest, to unlock streets, where you kind of like find a map of streets or something, and it allows you to venture out to streets, if that makes sense. And I think that's something that they could do a bunch with. But I just wanted to hear you guys' thought process on that.
Yeah, I think so from what I know, I think that Streets is going to be the first map that people start on. Like in the sort of when there's 1.0 release, Streets will be the first map that people go to. I think where you have Therapist as an in-raid trader there who gives you your first bits of quests. You go to Therapist to get your quests, and then you kind of like an RPG game, like if you played Skyrim or I don't know, like even like World of Warcraft or something. Like you move through the sections and move through the areas. It's like a level kind of area. So like you would go to Streets and that'd be like the early part. Obviously, I mean you can you'll find high levels there doing their thing, right? But you move through and you can kind of like move through quests and you meet traders as you go along, and then you go through the maps towards like I guess Shoreline and Terminal as like kind of end game, and then obviously, I mean, I guess Labs will be an end game technically, but that's what I've heard. So I'd be concerned, or like at least I'd question if they locks it, because then like everything that I've heard of and everything I know would be like, huh? What?
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that could be interesting though. I feel like for just the sake of it, I think they would want to just release Streets, like, and just have everyone kind of just go on it and see what it's like, and just give their feedback. Because I think that's the main part of it. Is just the feedback that they want. Is just like, how is it performing? What's it like? And all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's a fair point though. That is a fair point. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah. So I think we've that's been a long conversation actually. That's been good. I like that. I'm trying to think. So okay, right. So moving towards obviously spoken about Streets, all that stuff. What would you think Streets will go like? Like how do you think it will sort of perform like? Because I've seen a lot of people in the chat kind of sort of speculating like, oh, with 40 players it'll be I'm worried about the servers and stuff like that. And like, what do you guys think will be the main kind of like topic for Streets? Gino. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I think it would be, I hope that if they do this correctly, I think that this could be the biggest wipe in Tarkov history, especially with Streets and everything. And I think they've done a lot of work. I just have a feeling, okay, whether the feeling is wrong or not, I don't know. But I have a feeling that this is going to be a very smooth wipe when it comes to introducing Streets. And I think it's going to be actually very good for everybody. I think the servers might be, every wipe day is going to be a little wonky on the servers and stuff like that. Rightfully so, but I think it's going to be a lot smoother than a lot of people are expecting.
Mm-hmm. So I look at it like this. They've been working on Streets for how long now? A couple of years, right? From my knowledge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think so.
Well, they've been working on it for a couple of years. Yeah. So to have a project like this be on hold for as long as it has been, I have to have the expectation that they've figured out the issues that they may have and the workarounds to it. I'm expecting there to be minimal issues because of that. I could be way off in assuming that. I probably am, but I just feel like if you have something that's going to take as long as it has to be released, it should be crisp. If we get the same type of performance that we get on, say, Lighthouse, I think that's a win. I think if we're getting as many players as we're getting, but it performs like Lighthouse, I think that's a win.
Yeah, I
consider
think I
that a
agree.
dub. Yeah.
Yeah,
agree with that.
exactly. Yeah. Like I think yeah, I mean, Jeepo, thanks for 29 months, by the way, on the Evasion channel there, legend. But he also said, like, unless we get the new engine patch, like the Unity 2020 sort of patch, because we're currently on Unity 2019. I don't want to get like technical. I don't even know what that really means, to be fair. But there's a few things that were, I think, a pain point for Unity 2019 in terms of there was like an issue with this patch compared to 2018. In terms of like a rendering texture thingamajig. I don't know, but that's what Nikita said in like I think it was the Girls of Tarkov kind of a podcast. He did like when Lighthouse was released, and that had a few issues in terms of FPS. Like it dropped FPS. I think for me, my frames dropped by about 15 to 20 from one patch to the next. So apparently 2020, Unity 2020 has that back in there, or has it kind of back in. So I'm hoping that everyone gets some sort of boost. Maybe some more than others, depends on your hardware. But I think that could be a big thing that people are kind of missing out on, that could also kind of help with that. So people are expecting Lighthouse performance, because I think that's what Nikita said, was like Lighthouse performance. It should be around Lighthouse performance or better. I think. So I think it's going to be one of those things where there'll be that kind of performance or better, considering the patch. I'm interested to see. Yeah. But there was a question, I think, from was it Ripwinky, asking about the server changes. We had these server changes, or like I guess server sort of alterations, where they kind of just bunched them up again into sort of server regions. And I think I'll tell you what I think later, but Gino, feel free to give your thoughts on that.
I think when it first came out, everybody was, oh, this is a terrible change. Oh, this is, everybody was tweeting about it, making comments about it. Rightfully so. I didn't really think it was a good idea, but now that it's kind of been a few weeks, I don't mind it. I've actually run into a lot more of my streamer friends, whether they like that or not, I don't know. But it's been one of those things where I've been able to kind of like run into some friends that I have never run into before. And it's just been a lot of fun for me. And I'll be honest, the servers haven't seemed like they've been acting up. I know there was that problem when it first launched, that down in Australia, they only had one server or something like that. I could be wrong about that. But they only had one server, and I don't know if that got fixed. But other than that, I haven't run into any issues or heard about any issues. And I think it's one of those things that I've enjoyed. I've really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I think we also, sorry, just to interrupt here. I think we have a giveaway in the chat real quick. So I think you have to put in ticket 10 into the chat to enter into a 7-day trial for Tarkov giveaway. So if you guys want to get on that, then that's pretty progress. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Fudge, carry
on. Gino hasn't run into any issues, but he's been running into me. And personally, I love it because I just get free kits all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All
right. No, but I think it's fine. Because I mean, at least in North America, you have like NA Northeast, NA Southeast. Like it's broken up, so I guess ping shouldn't be that bad. I still suffer because I have terrible internet, but my only concern with it was when our friends in the OCE were struggling to play, and assuming that's taken care of by now, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think there was some sort of thing where they bunched up, I think, Asia and OCE, so they could get matched into their normal server, or they can get matched into a server that's got like 200 plus ping over in, I think, I don't know, I'm not sure where, but yeah, somewhere miles away, because it's quite a big part of the world. I think, like, yeah, it's pretty big. So yeah, it's quite a sort of expansive area. So it's kind of I guess an oversight on their point, on BSG's point. I think they fixed it really fast, and I think it was dealt with really well. I know there was some people in the Philippines, I think, also had issues with that because they couldn't connect to their Singaporean servers straight away. So I think they've got that now. So I think I've not seen any complaints at all since those changes. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, I've my raids have been absolutely not dead. Sorry, popping. I got you, didn't I? It was close. No, they've been so good. It's been full. I've been playing with a bit with like Miniman. We just had like 10 kill raids, like 9 kill raids. It's been like, geez, like you get one squad, then you fight them, and then it's like another squad's coming in from your left. You're like, what is this? Is mad. This is madness. So it's been really good. It's been a massive change. I think the rumors of dead game and games dead are kind of squashed now. I feel like it's pretty much alive, and we know it is now. Like it's just we just had to sort of see it. So I think it's good. Yeah.
I mean, it does have its negatives too. So like doing server takeovers. I mean, granted, like you have your offline that you can do with your community, but maybe you want to get more than 4 other of your community members in a raid and go, run around interchange trying to fight players or something, right? Can't really do that now. If you're like me, that likes to cheese shooterborn, because I don't like sitting in one spot for more than 30 seconds. Can't really cheese shooterborn anymore, but that's not that big of a deal. It has its negatives, but I think overall making it more populated is what the game kind of needed, and so that's a major plus.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point as well. Is like you can't, if you want to play with the community on like offline mode, they have to have EOD as well, which is also another pain point. It's it's one of those things that they kind of have to do because it's extra costs on the server side things. So they just say, like, okay, you have to have EOD to pay a bit extra to help with the server costs. It makes sense. I get that. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? Yeah. But moving kind of, I guess, I want to say not, we don't even know, do we really? But not even next wipe, maybe mid wipe, like arena, right? So we don't know when that's going to come, right? We have no real idea. But I have a feeling it's going to come sort of sometime mid wipe when things are dying down. They'll be like, oh, here's arena, by the way. Here we go. And then everyone's like, oh shit. Unless, and everyone's on there. That'd be cool to see. When would you like to see it? When do you think it'll be out? Fudge, I'll start with you, mate.
Well, I know they were supposed to start testing in the fall, or this past fall. I'm part of ETS. I didn't get anything about testing, so I don't believe testing has begun. I would like to see it as soon as possible, because that's like, a dream for me. It's like just only PvP on Tarkov. That's incredible. But I don't think they started testing or anything like that. And maybe with the next wipe, let's focus on streets for this wipe. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So, like, the question is, when do we want it, or what would we want with it?
Well, I think,
or both.
Well, I guess it could be like a multi-layered question. We can go back to Fudge as well after, I suppose. Like, when do you think it'll come out, or like when do you think will we like to see it? And so I guess, how do you think it will change the game? Like what's your opinions on it? I'm sure you've got many sort of points you like to go through.
So I've told this story so many times. I played 6 years of Counter-Strike semi-professionally. I played all of that. I think if Tarkov, the first-person shooter field right now, like competitive first-person shooter field, is very stale. I think there's not a lot of new games that have coming out. And I do believe that if Battlestate can pull something like Arena off and it be something that, majority of people like, I think it's something that can be the biggest first-person shooter. That's a big speculation, but I do believe Battlestate can do something like that, and I think they are very well capable of doing something like that. Now, when will it be? I don't know. I would assume probably not this wipe, maybe not even next. I think Arena is something that they're going to put a lot of thought into, and I would assume that it would be, maybe next wipe, or not next wipe, but like, 2 wipes from now. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Go on, Fudge. So what do you what are your thoughts on Arena? Not like when it'll come out, but like what's your kind of take on it? Because I know you said you were pretty hyped about it.
I agree with Gino that it has the potential to be like the next level type of first person shooter. I think that the potential with Arena is that it will bring people over to Tarkov that haven't played the full Tarkov game, may not even have the interest to play the full Tarkov game, try Arena, like it, and then go, I want to play the full game. So I think it has potential for like tremendous growth upside wise. But you know, then we also have to see how does Arena coming out affect the regular Tarkov game. Does it affect it negatively? Do we see a drop in population? You know, there's so many variables to it that, you know, I'm just excited for it to come out. That's like what I love to do is just PvP. So we'll definitely enjoy that, but we'll see how everything is affected, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think I kind of agree with Gino. Like the sort of what am I saying? The mine's on right now. Yeah, with the competitive sort of side of things, where you're the game is such a kind of a niche game, but I think like when you bring in like sort of the normal kind of like modes, like maybe a search and destroy, like a Counter-Strike kind of thing, or a capture the flag, or something like that, like, and you make it really competitive, 5v5, it could be a totally different like competitive shooter, like esports size shooter that no one's ever seen before, but everyone loves. I can imagine this being like really entertaining to watch, like super fun to watch. If they obviously get the spectator kind of camera right and everything's, you know, going well, which I think they do, because I mean, as we know, they've said that they have a whole separate team on that sort of on Arena, so it wouldn't even affect the actual current kind of Tarkov development. That just kind of goes alongside with it. So for me personally, I feel like we'll probably, well, testing, I think testing mid next wipe. Now that I say that, I don't think sort of full release mid next wipe. I think maybe full release, or like at least, I guess, full the first version of it in public, sort of, you know, in the public, will be the wipe after next, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, the wipe after 0.13, whatever this patch is called, which is the next one. I think we'll get it sort of after that. Hopefully, if everything goes well. Yeah, I'm just so kind of excited to sort of see how it goes, because we all know that, well, he said that, or Nikita has said that there is a lot of kind of crossover between the main game and Arena. Like there will be crossover where you can sort of do. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I have no idea, actually. I don't know. Maybe like your character level kind of ties in with your level on Arena. Maybe you get your skill, your PMC skills carry over to Arena. So maybe that will be a thing, because like, that makes sense that your PMC is the same in Arena as it is in the main game, right? Like you don't have two different guys, right? So that, yeah, as you say, that will obviously, if people want to go play Arena and then they think like, you know, there's some extra bits I can get in the main game, then they'll get the main game as well. They might get a standard account just to kind of like, you know, just to kind of have it. And that could be a really good thing for Tarkov, but it also could be a really bad thing where it takes too many away from the main game. Like I come from a game that, well, I don't come from a game, but I come from PUBG, where they had about, I don't know, maybe 30 different queues, and they split the game up massively to where every queue was dead because there were so many queues. So there was just no, it's kind of like the server issue that we had before they, you know, recently before they fixed it, right? We thought the game was dead. It's not. It's just, there's just no one, everyone's on their own little servers, their own little things, their own queues. I'm worried that will kind of split it even more. I'm kind of curious to see what happens there, but I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's interesting. But so I think going over sort of Arena, I know that Evasion, obviously Evasion is the kind of the I guess the first esports kind of esports what would you call it, the first
organization,
esports organization, yeah, the first kind of people to do it in a way. You know, there's been lots more that are fantastic. You know, you've got the Hunt, you've got the there's a fair few. There's loads. I'm not gonna name them all, but yeah, there's a fair few. I'm interested to see what they'll do, right? Because I'm sure they've been having chats with BSG, right? They're on the phone to Nikita. They're like, hey, this arena thing, we got you, all right? We got you, okay? So I think I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. I would love to see some super competitive, not even 5v5. Like we know the trios have gone so well with Evasion. Like I loved the trios when we played it. I think there was one in Shoreline. I obviously. Myself and Gino, we love a bit of Shoreline, don't we? Right?
Yeah.
That was good fun. I'm interested to see what they're doing. Yeah, it is. I'm interested to see what they do in terms of like maybe there's some duos as well, like different game modes. I know they're getting like PvE game modes too, right? So like you can fight Gluhard as guards or like waves of scavs and then bosses. It's a whole different thing, and I'm so ready for it, man. But yeah, what would you guys think Evasion would do? Like, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on that. Just go on. Hey, Gino.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I feel like we gotta establish this order, right?
Right.
Let Gino go first, and I'll go second.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes. There we go.
I was so hesitant to talk. I apologize. No, I think Evasion is one of those things where I think Evasion is going to do some cool stuff. I really would love to see like a team of sort, whether it be from Evasion or other organizations around the area. Like even we saw Ames get signed by Complexity. They have a CS team. I would love to see organizations get involved in some of this like this.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Tarkov arena.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew she had an announcement. I didn't see it. That's sick. Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
So
nice.
I think it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool if Tarkov Arena had, stuff that where these organizations could get involved. And I would love to see like scrims or, even just starting off small little tournaments, of, just teams against teams, like not even just running around W King. Like I want to see some, maybe smokes or something from Counter-Strike where you can do certain lineups. I think that would be really cool, and I think that's something that Tarkov has never seen,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think that there's the potential to have more teams like form for this, right? So like obviously Evasion has their content team, but then they have their comp team, right? So we'll take the comp team, we'll throw them in an arena mode. And then let's say we put them up against the Hunts comp team, and you guys go at it. And then, maybe the Outcasts make a team, or maybe all these different organizations surrounding Tarkov make their comp teams, and we kind of put together the esports side of it before anybody else does, right? And be the ones that are like the stepping stone to make that team versus team type of arena mode. Plus then there's also like the community aspect of it. You can have the people in the community do a Evasion style tournament that maybe they didn't get to participate in the Evasion trios or the Evasion duos, but now we throw communities in there, not just like organization type PvP. I think I don't think there's really any negatives to it. I think there's really only positives, no matter which way you spin it, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like as you said, like there's so many organizations now that could be the pioneers for this whole thing to kick off. And then I mean, who knows, like down the line there's like a sort of a global kind of like tournament and like esports like different global sort of huge teams like Complexity that the Ames just signed for as well, might have a team for Tarkov. Like that'll be insane. Like imagine that. That'd be wild. Which I never thought that I'd be thinking of that. Like Tarkov's more of like a, it's not competitive. I mean, it is in a way, but it's not what you think competitive is. But with Arena, that's where things change, right? So that is so interesting to me, and I'm so excited for that because I've got background in competitive things, PUBG and stuff like that, and it's been interesting to me to sort of like see how this all kind of expand and kind of grow, or it could just just be Arena and no one really people care, but no one really cares enough, right? That's just that, you know. And there's a few, you know, community tournaments, all that stuff, and it's good fun, and that's that, you know. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm excited to sort of get into what you said, Gino, was where like things get a lot more technical, and like, you know, there's smokes and like lines of sight. People are like doing like boosts or something like that, and there's, you know, that could be cool. Like pre-nades and stuff. Oh boy, I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see like the strategies. I definitely, I think I'm too old to play. I'm just an old gamer now. I mean, I'm nearly 30, man. Like, you know, geez. Like I'm not got the reflexes to play. So how do you?
I'll be 31 in February. Damn. Okay.
Oh, well, hey, you know, I mean, anyway, moving on. But like in terms of like professional gaming age, I think it's fair. It's fair to say, like, you know, I'm past my point personally in terms of. I can't speak for you, Fudge, obviously, but I'm past my point. I think I could do some, you know, analyze some games, get some strategies going for the team. I'm down for that, you know, definitely, yeah.
Well, listen, my prime is the next one. You know what I'm saying? every season's my prime. The next one's my prime. After that, it's the next one. I'm just kidding.
I've been telling my chat the past few days that, or not the past few days, but the past few months, that if Evasion comes out with something like esports related, I will. You know, take the keyboard and mouse off the wall, and I'll come back. I'll come out of retirement from Counter-Strike. I think I'd compete. And whether or not it takes over my stream, I don't know. But I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to, is possibly competing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of it, right? Like you don't want to rule it out, because, you know, that's just, you know, it might open more doors for different things. You know, you never know. It's there's an endless amount of doors to open in this industry, and yeah, it's I'm excited to see what happens. So speaking of things in the future, going back to the past though, what was the best thing for 2022 for you guys, right? Because obviously we're going into the new year. It's, you know, everyone's doing their New Year's resolutions and what they're going to do for next year and their goals and all that stuff. What was the best thing? What goals did you reach first off? And then what was the best thing that you kind of had happen to you? So we'll go with Gino first, as the order has been suggested.
I don't know. This year has kind of been weird for me. I would say it's a year that I had a lot of, you know, how do I say this? I had a lot of, you know, inconsistency. I had a lot of bad times and I had a lot of good times. But I think one thing I'm just proud of myself, so to speak, is kind of just pushing through all the adversity, you know, pushing through all the bad times and stuff like that. There hasn't been really a goal that I've set out for this year. And I think 2023 is going to be awesome for Tarkov, for streamers, for creators, everything. I'm just looking forward to the future. You know, 2022 was great, but I think it's one of those years where I'm gonna look back in my life and I'm gonna be like, you know, it was like that stagnant year. You know, that year that you didn't do all, you know, the greatest thing of your life, but you got through it, and you're gonna push further through life. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
2022 was a great year for me. I set so many goals for myself this year and basically accomplished all of them. I mean, I hit partner this year. That was my biggest goal, and that happened fast. You know, I had a goal of, you know, X amount of subscribers on YouTube, hit that. I had a goal of X amount of followers on TikTok, I hit that. I really feel like this year was a great year for me. I think the best thing that happened to me this year has to be hitting partner. But looking forward to 2023, I've set the bar high, like really high for myself. So we'll just have to wait and see if we accomplish these goals, you know. So
yeah, nice. I mean, yeah, for me, I feel like my goals, I'm not much of a goal setter. I feel like now that you guys are, you know, talking about your goals and stuff, I'm like, damn, maybe I should have done something, you know, some goals or something. But it's I don't know. I feel like my clone. Hayes had a goal of starting a stream on time. I've not even done that, have I? Anyway, it's yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things like we're talking about it before the podcast again. Like just yeah, like one of those things. It's just hard to like things kind of happen in the day, and then you like time creeps up on you. Anyway, yeah. So in terms of goals, I do actually like now that you sort of say it, Fudge, in terms of your goals and stuff. I do actually need to set some goals and some kind of like some things to look forward to in 2023 because I've never done it. I've just kind of been a sort of in the moment, kind of like whatever takes me sort of thing, and whatever happens kind of thing. I do like to sort of live kind of day by day in a way, even though that's probably the best thing. But hey, life only passes you by once, right? So I don't know. It's one of those things. But yeah, I think goals are definitely something I need to do for sure. Go on, sorry, Fudge.
A little piece of advice: if you're not sure about how to go about making goals and whatnot in this space, what I would recommend you do, and this goes for everybody, not just you. What I do: take either a post-it note from the PC app, or whether you get physical post-it notes and leave it on your desk somewhere. Write down some things that you want to accomplish where it's in plain sight for you, right? So that way you see it every day and you remind yourself every day that this is what I'm working towards. Now you just got to go do the steps that are going to get you there. I did it before I was in streaming. I did it prior jobs. I was a car salesman prior to streaming, and at my computer, post-it notes all over the monitor, what my goals for each month were, what my goals for the year were. And by doing that, you're kind of keeping yourself in check, and knowing that you have to be on the right path. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've done post-it notes before, and that's one thing I've kind of I've done once or twice, but never really kind of stuck to it. And I think that actually definitely makes sense. I feel like even for sort of short term, like I don't know, like week to week goals or day to day goals, just like doing a certain thing that you want to do, and I think it's more of like a feel, like you just feel better about yourself because you've done something you set out to do. So like I mean I guess for me, okay, so like one of my goals I think probably for this kind of next year is to do more YouTube stuff, like kind of take some time to do more good content. I think I guess it's kind of a weird goal, but like I want to get my YouTube to a point where I can fund getting an editor just through YouTube alone, and that'll be kind of cool because I do all the stuff myself, and it takes a long time. Like it's like if you want to do it properly, like nice, it takes a while. It takes a while. So like doing all that, I think that's my own thing, is like just kind of getting someone to do it for me, but obviously paying them a good amount. Yeah, but just I think that's my goal to sort of get to that point. Yeah, I mean, Clone is right. I have. There's been a few things I've achieved IRL as well. I don't want to keep talking about myself, but no, at the same time, I've done a few things like this year as well. I mean, it's been a good year for me off stream, honestly. So I can't really complain. I think now that's all happened. Now I can sort of focus on this. So yeah, maybe I can achieve my goals next year. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good, especially for Tarkov too. Tarkov, huge year for Tarkov. I think it's gonna be huge. I think they're gonna blow up again. I mean, they already blew up, right? But with Streets, I think Streets is their baby, right? Streets is their main thing. I think it's gonna be like this whole thing where Streets is out. It's amazing, runs really well. Fingers crossed. And then everyone's like, this is great, and then it all just happens from there. You got the drops, everyone's hyped for the drops, and people come back to the game. Then it all sort of spirals from there. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, any questions from chat though? If you guys noticed any interesting things from chat that you've had a look at, or anything you want to bring up as well? Like surely there's something you guys have got stewing in the mind there. You got some pretty active minds over there.
Yeah, I think I mean, to end, all of the conversations and stuff, I think, honestly, 2023, like, we were just talking about it, but I think 2023 for Battle State can be one of the biggest years, like, ever. Like I do believe if they get this patch out, like, and it's decent, there's going to be bugs. We all know that, there's going to be bugs. It's, it's how, game development works. But I do believe that if they get out Streets and they truly get out a product that majority of the community can enjoy, I think Tarkov will be the biggest game of 2023. And I know that's crazy. This sound like, but I have high hopes. I don't know why. It's like I have an internal feeling that 2023 for Tarkov will be the biggest year ever. And I just have a feeling. I don't know why.
Yes, mate. Big up the Tarkov.
Hope
Let's
you're right.
go. Come on.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right.
Yeah. I mean, go on, Fudge.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying because the obviously Call of Duty's brought out their own kind of version ish. I feel bad not playing it because I had a goal to play it just to try it because as a Tarkov streamer, I need to have an opinion. I guess. I mean, do I? I don't know. But I thought I would have an opinion, but honestly, I've just not been bothered. I'm just like, I'll make some time for it, and then just I don't know, wipes now near. I'm just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever, it's whatever. But so obviously DMZ came out. That's been pretty sort of interesting. Pardon me. It's been pretty interesting in terms of what they've done with it. Obviously nothing kind of like Tarkov really. Just the extraction thing and the loot, I guess. I think I saw some picking up some bolts and some screwdrivers apart from that. But hey, it's whatever they want to do, right? But yeah, it's interesting to sort of see. And I think hopefully people kind of see the light that is Tarkov. That is their gateway, into the world of extraction shooters and survival kind of genre in a way. So I think it's actually helped Tarkov more than it's hurt them, honestly. What about you guys?
I think it has too.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of competition.
What
competition is a. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, finish.
Why'd you go on?
Okay. It would be changing subject, but
Go on.
what do we think Tarkov is missing that would make it a mainstream game, or is it just the style of game isn't mainstream?
Good question. Gino, go on.
Yeah, I think honestly, it can be a mainstream game now. I think a lot of what's holding it back, and no shade whatsoever, the game development, there's been a lot of bugs and there's been server issues. I feel like if they can truly get down to the nitty gritty part of game development and fix some of those issues, I think it can be a mainstream game. Already, I think it can be something that I think it already has. It's not necessarily mainstream, but I think it's look at all these different game development companies making games just like Tarkov. They clearly see something in it too. Battlefield tried their I forget what it was, Hazard Zone or something like that. I don't really remember what it was called. And with DMZ, clearly they wouldn't be making these game modes if they didn't have a vision in it. I think it can be mainstream if they just get down to the nitty gritty and fix some of the issues that it currently has.
Hayes, what you got?
No, I was waiting for you, Fudge. Feel free. Go on.
I think that I think it's just a lot of back end issues that's holding it back. But I also don't think that it's necessarily catered to the casual gamer. Think about how many, as me and my Warzone friends call them, think about how many Home Depot dads there are out there that only have a couple hours a week to game, right? So that they play Warzone because it's seamless, right? You just drop in, play with your friends for 2 hours, and there's no progression. It's just you play, right? That is an issue with Tarkov because it's so grindy, if you will, that you have to work towards whatever goals, right? And I'm not saying that they should change that, but I think that's kind of something that's affecting it from being mainstream. It doesn't cater to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a fair point. And that's the thing. Do BSG want to kind of cater to more of a larger audience? That's also the question we have to ask ourselves. Like, I don't know if they do, because I mean, I know Nikita's. I'm pretty sure I've heard Nikita say himself that like they've made their money. They've done. It's been as popular as it's been better than they've ever even imagined it to be. They never would have thought this would happen in terms of like the popularity and the amount of players. So they're not happy just kind of making the game that they want to make. And if that's a hardcore, like even more hardcore than it is now, then that's the that's what they're going to make. So obviously, I mean, with Arena and stuff like that, that'll kind of open things. I think that's such a smart idea from BSG to have like an Arena kind of style. I don't even know when we actually first heard of it. I don't know when they started kind of thinking about that, because that would be interesting to know what kind of like prompted them to say like, oh, actually, Arena might be quite cool, like, like a 5v5 competitive kind of thing, because that would be quite interesting to know. But I think Arena will definitely cater to more of the casual player that can just hop on, play some competitive games of Arena, and get slapped about by some chads. So yeah. But I think there's a good point in chat as well, that the cost of the game is something that puts off a lot of players or new players or potential new players. So I mean, there obviously is the different kind of stages of what you can buy the game at. So EOD, then you have like, I think, Left Behind Edition and something else, and then the standard. So I don't know if you guys think that's a good idea to have like that. I know. I think they're going to get rid of it though at some point, right?
Yeah. When the game releases, right? They're getting rid of the bundles and everything. Correct? I could be wrong about that.
No, I think
I think so. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Like, is it too late to kind of get rid of those or not? Because I mean, people could just buy the standard edition, but then again, that is. I mean, I think I was looking at my stuff earlier, and like I think I paid like £42 for or something like that in Great Brexit pounds. So like it's one of those things where like people are so used to the free to play versions now, right? Like Fortnite, then you have like DMZ now, which is free to play, but you there's microtransactions and that stuff. So I don't know if people are too used to that now. The I guess the previous generation of like our kind of like 18-year-olds and like younger, are they used to that now? Do they think that's just a normal thing, right? It's hard to say, But what's your thoughts, Gino?
I think to kind of like not get off subject, but I think that's another point of context that you can ask about is why isn't Tarkov mainstream? Is also because I feel like it's not very a family friendly game, and as if COD is, but the truth is Call of Duty has skins and stuff that make it interesting to, let's say, a 16-year-old kid or a 17-year-old kid that just got out of high school or something. It looks interesting, and I feel like Tarkov is one of those games. It's more so catered towards an older audience, and I think that's something that could also kind of get in the way of Tarkov becoming mainstream, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Fudge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's like you said, the younger audience can just pick up Call of Duty and just sign in with their friends, as where in 2 hours you can accomplish a lot. In 2 hours of Tarkov, it's a couple raids, and really, how much are you going to accomplish in 2 hours, right? So I think it's just kind of the way that the game's catered. I want to see it more mainstream though. Like, so it's kind of crazy to think about it, but when wipe happens, you look at the Twitch category, Tarkov will sit at 200,000 plus and be the top of Twitch when wipe happens. But then a few months down the line, it's at 10,000, 12,000, 20,000 viewers. How do we bridge that gap to make it consistently higher, and make the player base grow?
Yeah, sort of like increase the interest of it. Yeah, for sure. That's a hard thing, because I honestly think that these kind of games, like the survival shooter games, or even just general survival games, even Battle Royale, to be fair, are some of the best games to watch on Twitch. They're so engaging at such a high level. But then you've also got, you know, the time between those kind of like those really intense firefights or, you know, insane things that happen, where you can just like kind of have a downtime, kind of you know, talk to chat and chat can talk to you, and it's just like they are such good streaming games, and that's I think why I've kind of stuck with them for so long, because just you can't really go wrong with it. Like it's just such a, obviously, you know, Tarkov's quite a hard game to get into. I mean, the community is fantastic. So if any streamers are thinking about coming over and, you know, and sort of starting with Tarkov, then you'll find that the community is massively supportive, and they love everyone that comes in and joins us. So I don't see there being any issues with that. So I think Tarkov is one of those games that you can just kind of like stream and have no worries. I mean, what kind of got you into Tarkov? Let's start with Gino. Like, what kind of got you into the streaming of it, and sort of how that kind of came about?
Yeah, so I got into Tarkov, and this is gonna sound really weird, but I've always had a fascination with games that have good graphics when it comes to like foliage and like, you know, really detailed trees and grass, and where you can go prone in a bush if you wanted, and like, you know, hide from enemies or something like that. I've always had a fascination with that, and I think Tarkov does that perfectly. You know, the graphics are perfect. There's tall grass, there's bushes, you know, whether there's rats in them now or not, so I don't know, but it allows us to kind of it allowed me to see a different side of gaming. You know, I came from Counter-Strike, as I said before, and it allowed me to see more of a passive style of gaming, and I really like that. And I think that's what got me in the Tarkov, what got me in the streaming Tarkov. I don't even remember, to be honest. I think I just opened up Tarkov and was like, hey, I'm gonna open up OBS and stream it, and I fell in love with it ever since. So I think that's what started it for me.
Yeah.
For me, so I was working at a car dealership, and a buddy of mine who also worked there streams it on YouTube, and he recommended I get it. He's like, oh, you really enjoy it? I mean, he wouldn't stop. Like, he was telling me every day, hey, did you get it yet? Hey, did you get it yet? So finally I was just like, I got to get it and play with him, just so, you know, get him off my chest a little bit. But
shuts up.
Yeah, right. So I got it, and I absolutely hated it. But it's because I started mid-wipe. So I was like a level 1 Timmy, mid-wipe, going against all these Chads. I don't know anything about anything, and I'm just trying to play it like it's Call of Duty, because that's what I was playing prior, was Warzone. And I was getting my ass kicked. So I stopped playing it, and then maybe a couple months later it wiped, and he was like, hey, wipe just happened, you should start playing again, really see if you like it. It's a smaller game, it should help your stream. So I was kind of like, well, to grow on stream, it's hard to be a small fish in that big pond playing like a Warzone type game where there's so many people streaming it. Maybe I give this a try, see how I do, give it a couple months. Maybe I hate the game, but let's just find out, right? So then I started, and I think it took me like a week, and I was like, this is my game. This is it. This is what I need to be playing. So yeah, I just haven't looked back since.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I think well, for me personally, it's been an interesting sort of like switch over, because I was doing a few things in sort of I started streaming even before competitive, all that stuff, and then I played competitive PUBG. Kind of like streaming took the sort of the back seat in a way, and then I kind of tried to get back into it after I came back from Berlin, doing some stuff, and like PUBG, I was playing PUBG, and it was just like people weren't interested in it. Like, it just wasn't like, after, I don't know, it was like two or 3 years ish. I think probably like 2.5 years ish. People just kind of got bored of it. It was, you know, the people weren't like really interested in it. So I was trying to find a game to kind of like start, and then I was seeing all this stuff on Twitter. I followed a few like Daisy Tarkov peeps, like Deadly Slob, all those guys. And you know, they were talking about on Twitter, like, you know, the wipe's coming, and point 12, and then reserve, and I was like, what is this? You know, I think I've got an account for Tarkov somewhere. I'll have a look, and then, you know, I did, and I was like, you know, let me give it a go, and so weird, but like the first day I streamed it, my viewership doubled, and I was like, what? Hey, okay, well, this is all right. I'll stay here for a bit, see what happens. And yeah, it was just so strange. I think the one thing with that is like people love in the Tarkov community, like people love to help new players. They love to, I guess, backseat game, but like it really helped me out. Like I was loving all the tips and tricks and all that stuff from chat, and they love to come in and just like help people out. I think that's what kind of draw me to it as well, was that there was so much like, everyone was in chat, like chatting and doing, say this, oh, that's really expensive, get that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And then extracts over there, and I was getting shot by a scab, and it was I don't know, it was just so interesting. There was so much to do, and it was it was just so like what's the word? It was just so kind of like chat was so into it. It was just so kind of there for chat. It was just great. So I think that's probably one of the best things for with Tarkov is that you like there's so much to do, and there's so much to kind of go through. I think also going into the future of Tarkov, like when they release it in 0.1, they say they want to have the full storyline in there as well, right? We're not going to see it anytime, but there's not like parts of it, or we're not going to see it anytime before the full release, is what they're saying, because they don't want to spoil it. So I'm curious to see like what happens there, like, because I feel like Tarkov is going to turn into this kind of this RPG style game where you've got kind of like Skyrim, or as I said, like I think in the podcast, like a MMO where you go through the maps and stuff like that, and like you have your storyline, and it's so more immersive. And I also feel like you might not get as many PMCs because of how the maps will play out and how the maps will be kind of linked up. So you might find that if anyone's played like early DayZ, like DayZ mod, where you don't see a player for like an hour or two. I'm not saying that will be Tarkov, but like then when you see a player, you've got that kind of like, oh, that there's a player there. I need to go and hunt him down. Then there's like a massive kind of fight, and it takes like half an hour, and you're running low on resources, ammunition, and they flank, and it's insane. And that I personally hope that's kind of the feeling I get when it comes down to fights in the future in Tarkov. I don't know about you guys. Like, what's your thoughts on the future? We'll go with Gino first, because that's the order.
I think that feeling that you just stated, that that kind of like heartbeat feeling, like where you can feel your heart rushing. I think that adrenaline has unfortunately gone away from me. And it's just because I played the game for so long. And I do hope in the future there are more moments like that. And I think I just hope in the future, just content consistently, even if it's mid-wipe, I want, a new rig or something like that, something cool looking, or, a new gun. I think that would be really cool. Something that doesn't affect wipe too much, but something that, can keep you around. And I think that's another issue that Tarkov has is, it after a few months, I feel like players start to go to other games and stuff like that. I think that's something where Tarkov really can work on something, whether it be a prestige system, which I've heard ideas for, with a Kappa prestige system where, and even before I stated that I think after you complete Collector and you have to get Kappa, you have to reset your account. I think that would put a huge nail in that coffin of it not being repetitive. I think that would be one of the best changes that they can ever make. Now, I understand, people would hate that, but I just think that's something that I would be interested in. I just hope in the future of Tarkov, the wipes aren't as repetitive. I feel like I want that constant stream of content, Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think that adrenaline / heartbeat stuff that we talk about is what kind of gets everybody hooked to Tarkov, is that feeling you get, because let's be honest, you play Call of Duty or Fortnite or something, you get into a fight, there's no repercussions, right? So you just start over. So that feeling never really happens. And then when you play Tarkov, you kind of it presents itself to you, and it just makes you feel some type of way where it gets you hooked to the game. And like Gino said, I've played this game so much that feeling's kind of gone away. to the point where really the only time I have that feeling anymore is when I'm playing in tournaments like Evasion trios on Interchange, or like that, knowing that I'm going up against like some of the best Tarkov players there is and like what's on the line, that gets it going. But it goes back to the fact that you have something to lose, where if I have 30 million rubles and you know, a bunch of kits, if I die, it's just whatever, right? And so maybe make something where it's more, there's more of a repercussion to losing, you know, and then it'll keep that kind of adrenaline going.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Clone says it well in chat, like the feeling of losing something, and the as you said, the repercussions as well. You need to have that, you know, the necessity of like, I need to keep this, or I need to get this out, right? I'm not going to go in this too much, but I've been a big proponent of locking the containers in the raid so you can't put anything in them, and that I think would do it. I think that would do it for a lot of people. Not necessarily, maybe not us, but I mean, in the early wipe, like sort of like early to mid wipe, for sure, yeah, because you need that stuff. You don't want to die. You know, it's a survival game. You have to survive to get out. And I think that would massively enhance the fulfillment of the game, and like just feeling so kind of immersed in the kind of the emotions. I think that's what, yeah, that's what that kind of sort of gets people hooked. And I think that would honestly just enhance that. Some people would argue that, you know, it's gonna be bad and whatever. Like, I've got my own arguments for that. I'm not going to go into it too much because I could go on for days about that kind of thing. So yeah, yeah. Any other comments?
I love that. I love that that idea to lock the containers.
I do have an idea.
Oh, okay. Go on.
I do have an idea. I saw it on Twitter probably a few months ago, and it got 1 like, and it made me so sad. Okay.
All right.
What if it not necessarily lock the containers? What if they had it so where if you put an item in your container, it's no longer found in raid? So let's say you get a LEDX and you put it in your container, it's no longer found in raid. That way you can still have it for that hideout in case you need it. But if you want to sell it and truly get out with, you know, cash, you can go out and you have to have it in your pockets. This way, if you find a marked key, you already have one, you probably will not put it in your locked container, so you can go back to the flea market and trade it for, you know, a green key card. You know, I think that's something where there would be a lot of risk to reward there. And I think that's something that would bring that adrenaline back. Because, you know, imagine running around with a Letty in your pocket, you know? That would give me an adrenaline rush, you know, in a way.
But what's to stop people from putting it in their container, getting to extract, and then taking it out of their container and putting it into their pockets?
Once it's in there, once it's in there,
once it's in, it's locked. You can't. It like loses it in raid. Okay.
Lose it. Yeah, in raid, it loses found in raid.
Yeah. What I was going to say was that, like, if someone feels a fight, you know, they're injured per se, you know, they've been shot and they're near death, they can just sort of whack it in there just to save themselves. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of like a mid between the two, isn't it? Right? Like, you kind of like you sacrifice something. Maybe I can see where you're going with that for sure. Yeah. I feel like maybe that could be abused in some way, like somehow. I don't know. People find a way, don't they? They find a way.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah, but no, I noticed Sigma asking, like, well, if that happens, then what about the sort of the more casual players and all that stuff? I did say I wasn't going to get into it, but I feel like I need to kind of say something. Like, so I in my opinion, if you lock the containers, that actually helps the casual players more. Hear me out. So like, when someone's so the Chads, right? They have all these high skills. They're faster. They know everything, right? They know where things are. When the Chad kind of like goes to that spot, you know, like, okay, so, you know, for example, in the past we had like tech light, you know, all that stuff. You go there to grab your GPUs and stuff like that, and the casual players aren't there for, you know, another 2 minutes or so, right? What happens if the Chad gets there, he grabs all the stuff, and then there's a casual player that gets there kind of late-ish because they don't have the skills there, and they camp a dark corner, they kill him. That's now their stuff, isn't it? That is in their bag. They can get that, but now they have the issue of getting out, right? And that's kind of the issue that everyone has, right? So my argument is like you wouldn't ever see that stuff. And also I think that there's a line to be drawn when it comes to taking out things from the raid when you've not even done anything in the raid. Like 2 minutes in and you've taken out a graphics card. That's value from the raid gone that no one else can have. I don't think that's fair, personally. I don't know about you guys. Gino?
I think so. Say what you just said. That last sentence that you mentioned. What was that again?
So
you said
like value from the raid being taken out.
Yeah.
Before anyone's even like done anything of note worthy value, like they've just kind of gone there because they're faster. They just get that stuff, and then that's that. So no one else can get that. I think that's not fair.
I agree with you. I think it's one of those things where it's so hard to fix an issue like this because once you fix like one side of it, the other side suffers. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to, you know, you can cater towards casual players, but eventually those competitive players or those, you know, those experienced players are going to be upset with the change. And that's just how Tarkov is always going to be. It's how Tarkov has always been. And it's one of those things where I don't think there's a fix that we can make that caters towards both, you know, and I think that's just the unfortunate part of, you know, things in Tarkov. You can't really cater towards both of them. I think the lock container is an equal or somewhat equal like idea, but there's always going to be somebody that complains. You know, there's always going to be some guy that, you know, says, you know, oh, well, I'm experienced, so I deserve to have this stuff in my container, or, you know, oh, I'm casual and I need to work harder now. You know, there's always going to be that argument, you know.
What if they make a tool in game, or they have the multi-tool that you could use in game, where you could break into somebody's container?
I knew you could say that. Oh my god.
That, but think about it. But think about it. Let's say you're a little Timmy, right? And you have this item. You just happen to have found this item, and you get lucky and you kill this juice Chad, right? That kind of levels the playing field a little bit, right? Where you couldn't have gone there. I don't know. I just think that could be something interesting, you know? And then it makes you also have to think, what am I putting in there, right? Do I want to take all these keys with me? Do I want to take all this ammo with me? Do I want to take all this stuff with me? I think that would kind of still make that adrenaline rush, make it a little bit more of a level playing field. But it would have to be something that would take a long time to do, right? Like, make it where if you're going to break into somebody's container, it takes 5 minutes to unlock it or something, you know? So it has to be,
oh my God.
Is it worth it? I'm just kind of spitballing here, you know? It's just
5 minutes to just stood there to sit like sat in a corner, just like trying to get this thing open. Like, the animation is like 5 minutes. Yeah. God. I mean, I can, I see where you're going there. I'm not sure if if that would, it's a thing. It is a thing. There could be a thing. It's hard to explain. Yeah. No, I think there's definitely some things to be changed. I mean, I know in chat people are saying that you could change things that maybe wouldn't hurt other players. Like there's things like I think Miklas said the spawns, right? So the spawns are fixed spawns. Experienced players know where those are, right? Whereas casual players might not know. So again, we don't know in the future what's going to happen there in terms of like with the maps being connected and how the spawn's going to work then. I don't know entirely. It could be that you spawn in, say like if you played the cycle, right? I'm not sure if you have, where like you spawn into an already going on raid, so it's kind of random in terms of like where players will be. I kind of like that. Because I don't like the fact that I know there's going to be a guy to my left, guy to my left, guy to my right, and I can look over there and see a guy crossing over, to sort of snipe him or something. I don't like that. That's not what I think it should be. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think, Gino?
You go on the fudge. On the fudge for this one.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
I mean, that's kind of what a scav is, though, no? Like,
true.
It's randomized as a scav. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but then you have to look at it like, if if Gino spawns in at 30 minutes and I spawn in at 20, he's had 10 minutes to loot, had 10 minutes to, like, is it worth it for me? Like, if I spawn in and there's only 20 minutes left, I might just go, oh, there's only 20 minutes left, there's not really going to be much here, let me just get out. You know, it's like,
but that, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think with the change in sort of like how the raids work, maybe it might mean that like loot periodically respawns throughout the raid, so maybe loot's just respawned over there. But then again, I suppose that could be abused with people maybe like leaving the area and then come back to it to get more.
Yeah,
that's a thing for future BSG.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I think it's just important to like realize that everybody just wants the game to improve and be better, and like us spitballing these ideas here is just us trying to use what knowledge we have in the game, trying to improve it, you know. And are they gonna hear what the three of us are saying and go, oh, we need to implement all these ideas? Probably not, but you know, it's probably not at all. But it's just you know, we love the game and we want to see it do better for everybody, and that's all it comes down to, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I think we've gone through all the topics there, haven't we? It's been a long one. I think we've kind of covered a lot of stuff there, for sure. I mean, any other closing thoughts from you guys? No. Okay.
Not for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a good though. It's been a pleasure. Some good conversations we had, some good ideas. I think we're all just excited for the future of Tarkov and how it's gonna sort of play out. I think this year currently was kind of a build up. I think, you know, in my opinion, they were kind of getting their heads down to get Streets out, and now Streets is coming. Here we go. This is it. You know, I'm excited for that. 2023 is gonna be huge for Tarkov. At least I hope so. And I hope it's, you know, huge for you guys too. You know, in your streams and content creation, and big things for Evasion. I think probably in 2023 as well, with the tournaments coming up. I mean, I know we have quite a few things going on with Season 7 kicking off around February. They say. Got solos, duos, trios taking place. It seems like monthly. Oh no, that's the podcast. Okay, so I'll read off other thing, but like, yeah, there's podcast monthly as well. So you guys will see a lot more of us and other Evasion members as well in the future. Monthly podcast be quite fun. Sort of keep everyone updated on what's happening in Tarkov as well. And you will find these on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to sub to Evasion's YouTube, you can find those. They'll be uploaded at a later date. For your viewing pleasure. If you guys missed maybe the start of it, you can go and watch that. But yeah, so that's kind of it. Make sure to follow Evasion as well, actually, on Twitch here, because we'll be doing as I said, doing more of these. But and also Evasion on Twitter, Evasion_GG as well. That's very important, because a lot of the updates from BSG as well will be retweeted by them. You can probably follow BSG, I think it's B State Games on Twitter, at B State Games on Twitter, for updates on the game. Yeah, there's lots of things. I mean, TikTok, Instagram as well. I know that's a thing for Evasion as well. They're doing lots of cool things. I mean, you might have seen a Gino or Fudge's face in there quite a few times on TikTok on the Evasion thing. I mean, it's they're TikTok fiends, these guys. Honestly, they're mad. But yeah, and you know, we want to thank BSG for all their hard work. It's been a sort of decisive year. It's been weird for us, right? I think BSG has been kind of on the grind, as we said. So I'm curious to see what comes in the future. But yeah, it's been an interesting sort of year for them, and fingers crossed it goes well for them as well. But yeah, so where can I find you, Gino?
You can find me everywhere. Gino on most platforms. You know, TikTok is like TTV Gino, but other than that, you just look up Gino. You can find me. I'm on all the big platforms nowadays, uploading almost daily to all of them, and I would love to see you in stream as well. You know, if you guys want to stop by, twitch.tv/Gino, GENOOO, the name's down here. And yeah.
Cool. Fudge.
You can find me every day, 7 days a week, twitch.tv/FudgeXL. It's starting at 7 a.m. All socials, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all of it, Fudge XL. I'm very active on my social media, so if you ever want to comment on a video or just talk or Twitter or DMs or tweet me, I'm always responding, so you can always find me there. And 7 a.m. Eastern every day, no days off. So, Hazel, what about you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Hayes, just the straight HAYZ. I think on most other platforms it's Hayes Streams because people have stolen my name on there. So anyway, so most platforms it's Hayes Streams. So the same things. TikTok. I don't use Instagram much. I don't know. Instagram's a strange one for me. But, hey, whatever. TikTok, YouTube as well. Hayes Streams, and then just the standard Hayes on the old Twitch. I'm on Twitter quite a lot as well. I tweet too much. I think I'm on about maybe 84,000 tweets now. That's sad. I'd say, but hey, I just live on there. It's my thing. I don't know. Anyway, you can find me on there. But I think we're gonna go and raid some evasion peep, some evasion peeps, an evasion bro. Mr. Vibin, I think. So if you guys want to get your emotes in chat ready for the big old raid, can go raid Mr. Vibin. We'll see what he's doing. Yes, but it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you much for being on the Evasion podcast, on the Team Evasion podcast. It's been lovely to talk to you guys. I don't think I've actually spoken to you guys at length for that long. It's been really fun. Yeah. So thank you guys.
It has. We love talking about Tarkov. So. It's one of those things, right? Just Tarkov is our life, so it's one of those things, man. It's just we love talking about it. But it's been good. Thank you, Fudge. Thank you, Gino. We will see you guys in, I guess, a month or next month for the wipe. Big hype. It's gonna be good. Lots of conversation there. So we'll see you then. Thank you for watching, guys.